All right, I got my box aligned with my drawing. It's okay that the front and the side aren't perfect. I'm going to use my imagination to judge some of this stuff. With my object selected, the first thing I want to do is insert some edge loops. If I hold down Control, get one down the middle because I'm going to split this in half and delete the left side. One for the top of the mouth, one for the top of the brow, one for the bottom of the brow, one for the outside of the brow, one for the inside of the brow. Come on, there it is. And let's see. And one for the middle of the, one for the top of the nose, one for the bottom of the nose. The nose is going to need a lot more work. It's a very complicated shape, but we'll get to that in a minute. And let's do the side. One for the ear, and that's really all we need for the side. I'm not going to do the neck. I'm going to have the neck part of a body, which is going to be a separate object. So now we're ready to start banging this into a shape. Go into vertexes. Starting with the front. Let's see, I want this to be on W to move. The brow, this one's going to be on the inside of the brow. This is going to be, make sure that I am actually selecting the front, and I am. I can see right there I am. This is going to be on the, along the line of the brow. We need to fix this. Control Z. The whole top is going to need, Control Z. The whole top is going to need to be round, so I'm going to use some marquee select so I get the back too. This area is going to get tricky, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. Using Control to deselect. Thinking this needs to be over here. I'll fix it when I get in the perspective view. It's easier to saw what's going on sometimes. And the bottom of the mouth, I'm going to extrude the face out. And the bottom of the mouth is going to be a separate. I'm going to extrude a separate piece for that, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. This one should be on, because I'm going to extrude this shape into the brow, so this should be on the line. Let me move it. Be over here. What's going on with that one? F2 focus on it, that's alright. I'm going to need to add some more edge loops to get some more shapes in there. Some more vertices to define this. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to start to get the side view, looking more like the shape that we have here. I'm not worried too much about adhering to the model. Normally you would, but in this case, honestly, the side view is not as important. I mean, I say that, but it's... I'm going to use my judgment in the perspective view to fix that. Really, the side view main thing is telling me is how far out the mouth should be. What's this other stuff? It's, well, you know, the head's going to be around where it's round. Using control, like I select a whole bunch of them, and then I start to move them in. A lot of this is going to have to be changed. I'm going to use a relax tool in the next video to sort of even out my polygons. And resize all of this on one axis and then move it over a bit. All right, now it's really boxy along that axis. I could go in and move the individual vertices, but instead of that, I'm going to use my sculpting tools. Up here, there is a relax tool, smooth tool. The one I use the most is relax, because if you want to make sure you have your object selected. If you want to make something round, B, holding down B, left mouse button, left and right, changes the brush size. But relax, what it does, it sort of evens out the polygon sizes, which is great for turning boxy stuff round. I'm not going to hit the front because I'm going to do that manually. Worried about that middle line because I am going to have to go in and when I cut it in half, I have to have a line along the 0 axis, or there'll be a gap. And go less like a cube and more like a skull. You could use flatten. I just like relax. It's relaxing. I think that's close enough. Next I'm going to extrude the face. First let me select the polygons. Selection tool, go into faces, and all of the ones, I'm going to select the left side too. Keeping an eye on my heads-up display for how many I'm actually selecting. All the ones that make up the mouth, which sticks out. Select those, and I hit the extrude button. Extrude is under the modeling toolkit. It's also under polygons, and it's also under edit mesh. I'm going to use the edit mesh because I can make sure that I don't accidentally have more than one division. So there we go. Go ahead and move extrude, and I'm going to use W to move it out. This is where the side view is kind of important. How far out the mouth goes, something like that. Back into the multi-view. I think it's time to delete half the faces. It'll mess with the node, but not alright. So I'm just marquee selecting the entire left side, which I've been ignoring. I'm just going to hit delete. Go back into my multi-view. Make sure I didn't do anything bad. I did. Control Z. Now I'm going to select the loop of vertices by right-clicking and going into vertex, click on one, double-click on the next one, and I got the entire loop of vertices around this gaping hole. Then I'm going to hit W to move. I'm going to pull up my move settings by double-clicking on the tool over here. Make sure I have retain under move snap settings, retain component spacing, turn that off. Now close it, hit F, and I need to turn on snapping to grid. And now they'll all snap to the 0 axis when I move it left and right. Be careful not to move it in and out or up and down. Just want to move it along that X axis. Got a line right with the 0. That's exactly what I want. Turn off snapping to grid. And let's have a look at our model. Alright, starting to begin to have a doggish shape. Some of it's got some issues. Like this. Way off. It's okay, easily fixed. This is a bit off. Okay, now let's have a look at that nose. Going to insert some more edge loops. I'm trying to organize these faces so they, when I extrude them, they'll make sort of a boxy version of this nose. All right, what I did there is I made this shape out of the faces. All right, now I've got a shape sort of like the nose that I'm going to extrude and move out. Let's see. Extrude. W to move it out just a little bit. Now that did create three faces on the side that I'm going to need to get rid of. That's not bad. I'll judge it after I smooth it. I think that's alright. Now I'm going to select the faces. Make sure I only have 3 selected. I can tell by my heads-up display that I do. Every quad is made up of 2 triangles, so you're going to see 6 on the triangles, but don't worry about that. Alright, not bad. Let's do the same thing for the brow. This thing's going to need more polygons for that. I'm going to insert another edge loop. Modeling toolkit, quad draw. So we're going to do it for that side. Back under selection. Vertexes. You could turn on soft select. Over here on selection, if you double click on that again, if you turn on soft selection, it'll select the things around it as well. So like you can see this isn't just selecting that middle one, it's selecting the ones around it. Sometimes that's nice. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt if you don't know that it's on. Don't forget to turn it off. Make sure you turn off soft selection if you have it on, because that will confuse you. Alright, now for the brow. Go back into faces. And I'm going to extrude them. I don't want this to be like a lobe down here, so I'm going to move this to be closer to the bottom, up a bit, so it sort of comes out as it goes around. I might smooth that later, I don't know. I'm going to need the mouth, the bottom of the mouth. I think I'm going to extrude that from down here. Yeah, I think the bottom of the mouth should probably just come out around here. I think that's just about right. So I'm going to extrude those faces. Going to hit W to move them down. Got that. Over just a bit. I'm going to extrude again. Grab and extrude out the bottom lip thing right here. Hitting extrude again, and W to move them out. Something like that is what I'm going for at the bottom lip. You can make the handle larger and smaller with the plus and minus buttons. I'm probably going to smooth that out after I mirror it and smooth it. I'm using the relax tool. So now I'm going to delete these extra faces that were created when I extruded. So we got a left and right. I'll fix that mouth after I smooth it. Let's see, where's the ear going to come from? That's about right. Okay, so I'm going to extrude the ear out right there. Extrude it again. Extrude it again. All right, let me go ahead and mirror that and see what happens when I extrude it. or when I smooth it. Go into the object mode with the object selected. Let's mesh, and in this version of Maya, it's just called mirror. Click on this little box out here because we want to make sure we're going in the right direction. We want to be on the X negative. So mirror axis is X, that's right, because we want to go that way. And we want it to be negative because we know it's negative because the letter X is going in the positive direction. So this is all, before I do this, I want to make sure I get all of the, I want to realign all of the vertexes around the edge loop to the center. So just to double check one more time that all of my stuff is on the center. Turn on snapping to grid. Retain component spacing is still on. Go from the top view. There's nothing to get in my way. Hit W and move it over and then right back. My nose looks really boxy, but let's just go ahead and mirror it. It's wrong. Object mode. And mesh. Mirror. And let's see it. Okay, not bad. Very boxy. I'm going to smooth out this mouth a bit. I'm going to use the relax tool. I'm going to, for this tool, double click on it, and I'm going to make sure that I have symmetry. I want to turn on mirroring on the x-axis. So everything I do is done to both sides of the sun. Now let's see what happens if I smooth this. You know what? I know I'm going to need a lower lip, so let me do that first. Vertex. I'm going to turn on soft select to make this a little easier. Back in the faces, I'm going to extrude that lip. Now let's see what happens when I smooth it. Not terribly far off. It's got a little bit of a seam down the middle. I can fix that with smooth or go in and it's odd. Got a bit of a seam down the middle. I can fix that with smooth or go in and do the individual vertices. And it's got a little bit of a seam right there. Again, I can always just go in and smooth that out. I like using relax. A little box around the back of the head. Like everything else is really down to the sculpting tools. Let's see, maybe we could try this. Sometimes this one can be a bit, yikes, strong. Double click on it and turn that strength down a lot. I'll start to freak out when it gets around the ears. Be careful for that. We're going to try smooth. There we go. There you go. Looks like a dog. That's it for this video. In future videos, I will texture him.